Have you ever felt like you're just on a treadmill, constantly striving for something that always seems just out of reach?
Hmm. Or maybe there's that little voice,
Yeah.
that inner critic.
Yeah, whispering you're not quite good enough. Or maybe you're just plain exhausted from, chasing some impossible ideal.
That feeling, that relentless push,
Yeah,
that's perfectionism.
exactly. And that's what we're deep diving into today. Perfectionism.
It's such a common experience, really.
Right.
So many people carry this feeling that they're falling short no matter what.
Absolutely. So for this deep dive, we've got a great source, mainly the Perfectionism Workbook, and we're going to really unpack it. What perfectionism is, where it comes from.
And crucially, the practical stuff. Strategies to actually tame it, reclaim your life a bit.
Right. The mission here is to give you that shortcut, get you well informed, maybe some surprising insights, things you can actually use, not just the surface definitions.
And what's interesting, and the material really highlights this, is how perfectionism often feels like a strength at first.
Oh, totally. Like it's the way to get things done, avoid getting
Or
criticized.
in praise, yeah.
Yeah.
You might even feel proud of having those super high standards.
It really does trick you, doesn't it? Thinking it's your secret
And
weapon.
then it changes.
Yeah.
It inevitably becomes this burden.
Like a weight, yeah. You can't even really enjoy the successes when they happen.
Precisely. It just creates so much stress, anxiety.
Yeah.
It chips away your self-esteem.
Leaves you feeling disconnected, unworthy even.
Mm-hmm. And the real insight here, the deep dive goal, is finding growth in the mistakes, accepting flaws as just part of being human, not something to erase.
Okay, so let's peel that back. If it's such a losing proposition, as you put it,
Mm.
what is perfectionism really?
Yeah.
At its core, beyond just aiming high, what's the trick?
Well, at its heart, it's this relentless quest to be flawless, setting impossibly high standards for yourself, often for others too.
And believing it should all be easy, effortless.
Yeah, that's a big part of the belief system. Goals should just happen, no mistakes, no struggle, maybe not even disagreeing with anyone. And the insidious part is that anything less than perfect feels totally unacceptable. It causes real distress. It sort of convinces you effortlessness equals worth.
Effortlessly. And that's a particularly cruel twist, isn't it? Like the struggle itself is failure.
It really is. And
Yeah.
because those standards are inherently unrealistic, unattainable, well, that's why it's a losing proposition. She keeps making us feel worse, locks you in.
Okay, let's make this real. The material talks about Lori. Tell us about her story, because it really captures that feeling, doesn't it?
It does. Lori's a middle-aged mom, 3 kids. She jokes she should have been a firefighter, always putting out fires.
Sounds familiar.
She's described as uh, tightly wound, competitive, a real type A, phone, day planner, always right there.
Okay.
And she struggles. Insomnia, she just can't switch off her mind, even when she's totally
Oh,
wiped.
oh, I know that feeling.
Her husband just wants her to sit through a movie,
Hmm.
without getting up to clean or check her email. She's always doing multiple things.
And the cost. Migraines.
Yeah, increasing migraines, just too many commitments, too much pressure.
And it's not just doing things perfectly, it's about the appearance too, right? Presenting it all flawlessly.
Exactly. The perfect image. Home like a magazine, kids impeccable, designer clothes, picture-perfect marriage. That projection of effortless control.
But it's not just outward stuff, is it? It's deep inside too. How does it show up in our thinking, that internal voice?
Mostly is black or white thinking, all or nothing. There's no gray area for a perfectionist. Like if I don't nail this presentation, I'm a complete failure. There's no middle ground. So the only option feels like more pressure, higher demands, zero tolerance for mistakes.
You have to be a top performer all the time.
Right. Driven by that deep-seated feeling of inadequacy, that core belief, I'm not enough.
And the only way to be enough is to achieve X, Y, or Z.
Precisely. And that pressure, that's the perfectionism hamster wheel.
Yeah.
You're constantly chasing worth through the next goal, the next achievement.
But you never actually get there because perfection is impossible.
Exactly. The goalposts just keep moving. You're always running.
It's such a vicious cycle. Causes stress, those crazy high standards, false ideas about self-worth, constant fear.
But understanding these bits, identifying the specific traits in yourself, that really is the first step, the foundation for change.
Awareness.
Awareness is everything.
Okay, that hamster wheel image is, yeah, pretty vivid. So if it's such a losing game, where does it even start? Are we born this way, or do we learn it? The material suggests childhood is key. Early messages about worthiness.
It absolutely seems to be. Kids, they have this primal need to survive, right? and this deep desire to please their caregivers. So they internalize messages about their worth very early on.
Even if the parents are critical or abusive.
Even then, because that connection, that approval, feels essential for survival to a young brain. They just absorb it all.
Okay, so let's talk about those early environments. What kinds of parenting styles does the research point to as accidentally fostering this?
Well, the material outlines a few. One big one is demanding parents.
Demanding how?
They tend to value external stuff. Awards, grades, money, status. They worry a lot about what others think, see their kids as sort of extensions of themselves.
So they'd be embarrassed if the kids weren't perfect.
Deeply embarrassed, yeah. Or feel inadequate themselves. Sometimes they might even use harsh discipline, thinking it motivates the child towards, excellence.
That sounds like Jeremy's story from the workbook. The doctor whose parents were mortified by B grades pushed him into medicine.
Exactly. And the impact on the child is huge. Damaged self-esteem, chronic self-criticism, anxiety, depression.
They don't even know what they want anymore.
Right. They internalize the parents' goals.
Mm-hmm.
They learn love is conditional. You're only lovable when you please us. So perfection feels like the only path to acceptance.
Wow. What other styles?
Then there are perfectionist parents. They might model it themselves or directly reward it.
Praising the A+, but not the effort it took to get the B.
Exactly. Praising achievements way more than progress or just trying hard. Marco's story fits here, aiming for varsity football, high-powered lawyer dad working constantly, dying young.
Admired his work ethic.
Yeah, and his mom kept a spotless house, always perfectly dressed.
Mm-hmm.
Powerful models.
You can see how that sinks in. Okay, what about overwhelmed parents? That sounds like a really tough situation.
It is. These parents often lack coping skills themselves, maybe due to trauma, mental illness, addiction, or just chronic stress like poverty or unemployment.
So the home life is chaotic.
Often, yeah.
Uh,
Unpredictable, maybe unsafe. Rules can be all over the place, inconsistent, too harsh, or maybe no rules at all. Expectations might be unrealistic or non-existent.
and kids often step up, take on adult roles.
Very often. Caring for younger siblings, cooking, even managing the household.
How does that lead to perfectionism? It seems almost opposite.
It's counterintuitive, but kids in that chaos often start to think they're the cause of the problems.
Like if I was just better.
Exactly. If I got perfect grades, Dad wouldn't be so stressed. Or if I was a perfect kid, Mom wouldn't drink. Perfectionism becomes this desperate defense mechanism, a way to try and control the uncontrollable.
Holding on to that hope that if they could just be perfect, everything would magically fix itself.
It's a heavy burden for a child.
That sounds like Rebecca's story. The oldest kid, alcoholic dad, overwhelmed mom.
Yes. She tried so hard to be the perfect, responsible one,
Yeah.
desperate for love and approval. But she was always reminded of her mistakes, no matter how hard she tried. Felt she could never measure up.
So what's the common thread here across all these different styles?
The common denominator seems to be an inability, for whatever reason, to consistently notice, understand, and truly value the child's inner world, their feelings, their needs.
So kids learn one way or another.
That external perfection is the key. It gets attention, gets praise, or maybe just avoids criticism or punishment. And those patterns just stick right into adulthood, still chasing that external validation.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But it raises the question, what about forces outside the family? What else in our world pushes us this way?
Oh, plenty. Technology is a huge one now.
Okay, so.
Well, it creates this 24/7 work culture, doesn't it? The lines between work and personal life just blur. And busyness itself has become like a status symbol.
Right, you have to be on, always producing.
Exactly. Then there's media saturation. TV, YouTube, especially social media.
Oh yeah, the endless curated perfection.
We're just bombarded with these unrealistic images of who we should be. The amazing career, the organic kids' meals, the spotless house, the perfect holidays, loving the gym. All effortlessly, of course.
It's an impossible standard, creates this constant comparison.
Absolutely. An inescapable comparison trap for many.
And the material points out gender plays a role too.
It does. Women and girls are often socialized differently, right?
Yeah.
As caretakers, taught to please others, maybe suppress their own feelings, and there's huge pressure around the parents to be neat, quiet, pretty thin.
And cultural factors. Religion.
Definitely. Some cultures or religious traditions might have really exacting standards of worthiness. Anything less than perfect is seen as a major failure. The book mentions Amy Schua's Tiger Mother, and A- is bad. Medals have to be gold.
Wow, intense. Even geography can play a part, like Silicon Valley.
Yeah, think about environments with that intense hustle culture. High pressure, achievement driven,
Mm.
it breeds comparison, reinforces nonstop work, showing off success. You constantly feel like you're falling behind.
So it's nurture environment.
Right.
But is there a nature component too? Are some people just more prone to it?
The materials suggest, yes, possibly. Elaine Aron's work on highly sensitive people, HSPs,
Okay.
it suggests a portion of the population is just naturally more sensitive to their environment, feels things more deeply, and this can make them more prone to perfectionism.
Why is that?
Maybe to try and avoid unpleasant surprises like criticism or making mistakes, which feel extra jarring to them. Or maybe just because they can vividly imagine how something could be done perfectly and the gap feels uncomfortable.
So pulling it all together, perfectionism isn't just one thing. It's this complex mix, isn't it? Childhood stuff, society, culture, maybe even our innate wiring.
Exactly. And understanding those roots, all those influences, that can really unlock some self-compassion, pave the way for change, rather than just beating yourself up about it.
Knowing where it comes from helps you tackle it.
Absolutely. Addresses the drivers, not just the symptoms.
Okay, let's dig into the inner workings then. Because fundamentally, it seems driven by fear, right? Our brain's old wiring, the negativity bias, fight or flight, expecting the worst.
That's a crucial piece. Our fear response isn't always rational, is it? These perfectionist fears, they're often built on cognitive distortions, those illogical mental traps.
Okay, what are some common ones, things people might recognize in themselves?
Well, there's all or nothing thinking, black and white, no gray.
Right, success or failure, nothing in between.
Then mind reading, assuming you know others are thinking negative things about you without any proof, feels like intuition, but it's usually insecurity.
The double standard.
Oh, yeah. Holding yourself to way higher standards than you'd ever hold a friend to.
Guilty. What else?
Catastrophizing. Jumping straight to the absolute worst case scenario.
Yeah.
And those insidious should statements. Judging yourself constantly for what you think you should be doing or feeling.
I should be able to handle this. I shouldn't feel upset.
Exactly those. Just noticing them, naming them.
Yeah.
It takes away some of their power, doesn't it? Like seeing the wizard behind the curtain.
Yeah, it really does. So once you spot them, what do you do?
That's where cognitive reframing comes in. It's a process, basically 4 steps.
Okay.
1, record the negative thought, write it down. 2, check it for those distortions we just talked about. 3, challenge it, ask for evidence. Are there exceptions? Other ways to see it? Is it realistic? Does it align with your values?
Reinterrogate it.
Exactly. And 4, replace it with a more realistic, balanced thought.
Let's use Ryan's story as an example. It really shows how fear isolates us.
Right. Ryan's a new dad. His wife, Melissa, has postpartum depression. He's totally overwhelmed, working, cooking, cleaning, childcare.
And people want to help.
Yeah, supportive friends, family, but he won't let them. He's afraid of being judged, of failing. He thinks asking for help proves he's a failure. And he's worried what people will think about Melissa's depression.
So how does reframing help him?
Well, he takes that distorted thought, asking for help proves I'm a failure. And he challenges it. He replaces it with something more realistic, more compassionate.
Like what?
Like, our friends and family will still love and accept us, even if we're having problems and need help. I don't have to do it all myself.
That's huge. That shift lets him actually ask for help.
It's transformational. It opens the door to connection and support.
Okay, so that's tackling the fears. What about the internal stuff? That constant self-criticism. Perfectionists often see their struggles as proof they're inadequate, right?
Which makes self-compassion absolutely essential. Not just nice, but necessary.
But the self-criticism can be so automatic, like background noise.
Like elevator music, yeah. Just always there, setting a negative tone. You have to actively listen for it. Words like always, never, should.
Let's go back to Lori. What did her self-talk sound like?
Well, like when she was plucking stray hairs, thinking, I'm old. No one wants to look at an old woman.
Ouch.
Or after yelling at her daughters immediately, I can't believe I lost my temper again. Why can't I ever plan ahead? What's wrong with me?
And the material says that kind of harsh talk, it doesn't actually help you change, does it?
No, it's a terrible strategy for change. It just keeps you stuck in shame.
So how do we flip that, turn criticism into something supportive?
Several ways to practice self-compassion. First, compassionate self-talk. Notice when you're being critical. Then actively remember everyone messes up that shared humanity piece. And offer yourself the same kindness you'd give a friend.
Treat yourself like a friend. Seems simple, but it's hard.
It is. Then there's self-forgiveness,
Right.
which isn't about letting yourself off the hook exactly.
What is it then?
It's acknowledging the mistake, taking responsibility, maybe making amends, learning from it, and then releasing the self-blame. It's a process, not a switch. Based on that idea, when we know better, we do better.
I like that. Progress, not instant perfection. How do you do self-forgiveness?
You can try redoing a regret in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine handling it differently. Offer your past self some understanding for why you did what you did then.
Mm.
You can create a personal forgiveness affirmation, like Lori's. I forgive myself for yelling. I release the guilt. I accept I'm human.
Powerful.
And finally, take positive action. Learn. Apologize as needed. Make amends. Turn the regret into growth.
And it's not just internal talk, right? How we interact, like with compliments.
Yeah, giving and accepting compliments. It pushes back against basing your value only on achievements. Focus instead on your strengths, your effort, progress, things that matter to you.
And actually letting a compliment in, that can be really hard for perfectionists.
It's a profound act of self-acceptance, actually, allowing yourself to receive positive feedback.
Okay, perfectionism doesn't just mean striving hard. It shows up in weird ways, like procrastination. How does wanting to be perfect make you put things off?
It's pure avoidance. The fear of not doing it perfectly,
Yeah.
of making a mistake, it gets so big that you just don't start.
And that just creates more stress later.
Exactly. More stress, missed opportunities. Like Ty, the singer-songwriter in the book.
Yeah.
Loved singing, but kept putting off the open mic night sign-up because he was nervous.
Did busy work instead.
Yeah. Stayed late at work, painted the porch, anything but sign up, until he missed the deadline.
Oof. And Madison's story,
What?
with the paperwork.
Right.
Oh.
Great case manager, clients loved her, but hated the paperwork, terrified of making a mistake, put it off for a month.
Got a warning.
Yep, and then beat herself up even more. Just do it, you idiot. The procrastination, driven by the perfectionism, made the problem way bigger.
So what helps? Practical ways to fight procrastination.
First, cognitive reframing again. Challenge the negative thoughts keeping you stuck.
Mm-hmm.
I hate mowing becomes, it's only 30 minutes I can listen to music. Then, the 5-minute rule. Just commit to 5 minutes. Getting started is often the biggest hurdle. Momentum builds.
I use that one. It works.
It does. For big tasks, break it down. Smaller steps feel less overwhelming, more motivating.
Like a task map.
Exactly. And finally, maybe controversially, do the hardest thing first when your energy is highest. Finishing that gives a real sense of accomplishment.
Okay, let's switch to the other paradox. Busyness. The relentless doing. How's that perfectionism? Everyone seems to brag about being busy.
It's become this way of chasing worth through activity, a status symbol, driven by that more is better cultural message. Help more, work more, earn more. Do it all, effortlessly.
It's performative, like Victor's story.
Oh, Victor, the accountant. Long commute, works constantly, energy drinks, falls asleep on a couch.
No time for family or health, even though he values family time.
Right. Totally out of sync.
What are the signs you might be caught in that trap?
Calendar always full, double booked. Feeling rushed, tense all the time, skipping meals, no time for basic self-care, multitasking constantly, working nights, weekends, feeling really uncomfortable with downtime, like having nothing scheduled.
That list feels very familiar for a lot of people.
It is.
So what's the real cost, and how do our values fit in, our core beliefs?
The cost is huge. Relationships suffer, health suffers. Especially when your actions don't match your values, what you say truly matters to you.
Like Victor spending 90 hours on work and commute, only 10 with family, when family was his stated value.
That mismatch creates deep unease, dissatisfaction. It leaves you feeling empty.
Which leads to that question for you listening.
Right.
Have you ever really stopped to clarify your values? What truly matters most? The material really pushes you to do that.
It's such a revealing exercise. Helps you see if where you spend your time actually aligns with your priorities.
And finding balance isn't about totally changing everything overnight, is it?
Not at all. Small steps, incremental changes. Like Victor didn't quit his job. He added 15 minutes for lunch prep, came home 15 minutes earlier for bedtime stories. Manageable things.
Small steps build momentum, and the antidote to the mindlessness of busyness. Mindfulness.
Exactly. Deliberately slowing down,
Yeah.
engaging with the present moment. Think about a mindful shower, feeling the water, the steam, versus mindlessly scrolling your phone in the shower.
One restores you, the other drains you, even if it feels like a break.
Often, yeah. Because the scrolling invites comparison, stress, Mindfulness is about being intentional, fully engaged.
And tuning into feelings, like Victor noticing he felt resentful, exhausted.
Yes, feelings are data. His resentment about colleagues, exhaustion from hours, that information points towards solutions. Mindfulness also helps with decision-making, especially saying yes or no.
How so?
Before committing, ask, is this aligned with my values? Whose goal is this really? Will it bring me joy or just obligation? Can I ask for help? Can I delegate?
Being mindful about commitments. And let's kill the multitasking myth while we're here.
Please, our brains can only truly focus on one thing at a time. Single tasking improves quality and enjoyment. It feels slower, maybe, but it's more effective and happier.
Okay. And gratitude as a mindfulness tool.
Hugely powerful. It just shifts your focus to the
No.
good, the positive, draws your mind away from worry, self-doubt, the perfection chase, appreciating small things, internal strengths. It's an antidote.
Okay, let's connect this to relationships. People pleasing. How does that fit with perfectionism? Seems like another way to seek validation.
Absolutely. It's often driven by doubting your own worth, needing everyone to like you, and desperately avoiding conflict, which is, impossible.
Lorenzo's story. Afraid to stand up to his dad, always giving in to his wife and kids.
Yeah, just trying to keep everyone happy, avoid any argument at his own expense. Or Kate, who's hypersensitive to what others think.
Taking on stuff she hates, like summer school or kittens.
Just to avoid letting anyone down. In both cases, their self-worth gets tied completely to making others happy. Their own needs get totally sidelined.
So how do you escape that trap? The book points to assertiveness.
Assertiveness is key. It's framed as that middle ground, not passive, not aggressive, just direct, calm, respectful communication. It massively increases the chance your needs get met, and it builds healthier relationships.
What are some of those key skills, practical things?
First, you got to know, what do you want? Tune into your own feelings, your needs before you speak.
Makes sense.
Then use I statements.
Yeah.
Focus on your experience. I feel frustrated when, not you always make me frustrated.
Great. So instead of you're always so loud to the neighbor.
Maybe I feel stressed when I hear loud music late at night because I need to sleep. It shifts it. Or to the client. I feel frustrated because the contract states the overtime rate and I expect to be paid for those hours. Not accusatory, just factual about your feelings of the situation.
Or John with his mom calling all the time.
I love talking to you, Mom, but I feel stressed when our calls run long because my schedule is so packed right now. It owns your feeling without blaming.
And avoid always and never.
Definitely. They just make people defensive. And practice telling the difference. Passive-aggressive, assertive. Like the dinner example.
Yes. Passive, whatever you want. Aggressive. Pizza again. You never think about what I want. Assertive. Actually, I'm trying to eat healthier. Could we do salads tonight?
Exactly. Calmly stating your preference. Also, figure out how you calm down before a tough conversation. And maybe even write a script for really hard ones. Just key points to keep you anchored.
And the cool thing is practicing assertiveness actually builds confidence, right? You don't have to wait to feel confident first.
That's such a crucial insight. Acting assertively creates the confidence. It helps you challenge those old negative beliefs. No one cares what I think. It's selfish to ask.
But the guilt, that's a massive barrier for people pleasers trying to be assertive.
Huge barrier. Guilt is so familiar. The book suggests challenging it by asking, would it be wrong for my friend to do this?
Oh, the double standard again?
Exactly. If you feel guilty saying no to babysitting, ask if your best friend would be wrong to say no.
Yeah.
It exposes those unfair standards you hold for yourself.
Okay, speaking of criticism, perfectionism often makes people critical of others, too. Andrew and Carlos's story really showed that.
Yeah, Andrew the perfectionist, constantly nitpicking Carlos about his career choice as a novelist, how he does chores, passive-aggressive comments implying he should get a real job.
And the impact is devastating. Carlos feels totally inadequate, shuts down.
Builds a wall, tunes Andrew out. And that kind of constant criticism, as Dr. Dotman's research shows, is a really bad sign for a relationship, a predictor of divorce even.
How does the perfectionist thinking fuel that criticism?
That all-or-nothing thinking again, my way is the right way.
Yeah.
Making negative assumptions about why the other person did something. Rigid beliefs.
So you have to challenge those critical thoughts about others, too. Question if they're fair. Look for other perspective.
Yes. And set realistic expectations for others. Overly high expectations just lead to constant disappointment and criticism.
And know the difference between feedback and criticism.
Crucial difference. Feedback is helpful, specific to behavior, encouraging. Criticism is angry, attacking the person's character. Assertiveness, allows for feedback, not attacks.
And pick your battles.
Absolutely. Not every little thing needs correcting.
Mm.
People often figure things out themselves, and maybe most importantly, notice what's going right. Actively look for the positive in others. It changes the whole dynamic.
Okay, deep breath. Let's talk self-care. How perfectionism and guilt totally sabotage it. Because perfectionists think they should be superhuman.
Right, that they should be able to just push through, sacrifice themselves for goals or for other people. Like Rhea in the book, always putting everyone else first until she was just empty.
Underestimating their own needs, feeling guilty for resting or having fun.
Totally. So you have to challenge that guilt. Reframe self-care not as selfish indulgence, but as meeting fundamental human needs. Needs everyone has.
Use the friend test again.
Use the friend test. It's
Let's-
okay for your friend to take a sick day. It's okay for you. Identify your needs: sleep, play, connection, purpose, autonomy. And then choose mindful self-care.
Not just scrolling social media.
Right. A mindful shower, a walk where you notice nature, really savoring tea. Things that genuinely restore you, not just distract you while adding underlying stress.
And be proactive. Have a plan.
Yes. Build routines to meet predictable needs before you hit empty. Makes it easier, more likely to happen, prevents burnout.
Okay, last big piece. Shame. As a core root of perfectionism, that feeling of being fundamentally flawed.
Shame is so often underneath it all, tied to all those fears: failure, rejection, not being good enough. Linda's story with the infertility.
Feeling defective, hiding it, disconnecting.
Exactly. Maintaining that perfect facade everywhere else because of this deep shame, it isolates.
And the book connects this to Brené Brown's work. Shame is the fear of disconnection.
Precisely. The fear that something about us makes us unworthy of connection. Perfectionism tries to build this fake bridge to worthiness, but it just walls us off.
Like Patrick's story. Shame from childhood abuse leading to overwork, pushing his wife away.
Heartbreaking. His inability to be vulnerable, driven by shame, destroyed the connection.
So the antidote to shame, the path to connection, is authenticity.
Yeah.
Vulnerability. That sounds terrifying for a perfectionist.
It is terrifying. It takes huge courage. Allowing yourself to be truly seen, messy, imperfect parts and all, despite that voice screaming you'll be judged or rejected.
But when that vulnerability is met with
Empathy. That's the magic. When
Right.
someone sees your imperfection and responds with understanding, not judgment, the shame just shrinks.
Yeah.
Like Mark sharing his mistake with his therapist,
But
and she shares one of hers.
it normalizes it, builds real connection.
Deep, genuine connection.
Wow, okay. This has been quite the journey. From really getting what perfectionism is, its roots, to all these practical ways to work with it. Self-compassion, assertiveness, connection.
And hopefully you listening now have a clearer picture of maybe what's driving some of your perfectionist traits and crucially some concrete steps you can start taking. But remember, it is a journey.
Yeah, not a quick fix. Change takes time, baby steps, setbacks happen.
Which is why continued self-compassion is vital. Acknowledge the struggle. Don't beat yourself up. Treat yourself like that friend.
And visualization. That can help.
Yeah, mentally rehearsing new behaviors like visualizing, communicating assertively. Not necessarily getting a specific outcome, but practicing the action builds confidence.
And keep up the self-care,
Yeah,
especially when doing this kind of inner work.
absolutely critical for replenishing your energy.
Hmm.
And finally, create routines. Make practicing these new skills a habit. It makes healthy choices easier, more automatic over time.
Builds new pathways in the brain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rewires those old patterns.
So a final thought to leave you with. Maybe the ultimate act of courage in this messy, imperfect world we live in isn't trying to be flawless, but actually embracing our own imperfections and others too. Seeing that as the real path to connection, to fulfillment.
It's a radical shift in perspective.
So the question is, what might actually shift in your life, in your relationships, if you truly leaned into that kind of acceptance? Something to think about.